ever run into a situation while developing your starter where your starter has some action in the early days, then just became inactive for days? Well, you are not alone. When I was first making my sourdough starter, I saw a big rise and fall on day 3. That was very exciting. However, soon after that, the starter seemed to have crashed and appeared dead. I searched through the internet and all experienced bakers said it's normal. Just keep feeding it and it will rise in a few days. So that's exactly what I did. But how many days is that few days supposed to be? Right here, there are 2 jars of starter created with bread flour. I separated them into 2 when started filming it because I know I will be making some changes to them and I want to be able to compare the results. I do want to mention that this starter is already on day 10. It had a very nice rise on day 3, then fell and left a layer of hooch. So it did have some action before. But from day 4 onwards, it just stays like this. No more hooch, meaning they are not starving, but certainly didn't have any bubbles and absolutely no sign of rising. Almost all videos I watch in the past say starter will be ready in 7 days. Well, apparently it's not. After 7 days of no action, I was ready to start all over again, but then I thought, maybe I will film this because what if I'm not the only person out there who has this problem? So I decided to keep feeding it and record it. At the time, I wasn't sure if this would have a happy ending. I do want to mention that I know I have the correct elements for this. I used filtered water that's a little warm and left them at the counter with the appropriate room temperature. I made starter with whole wheat flour as well with the same measure and has no problem. This is day 10 already. I decided to give it a little tweak by giving it a little more food. Still feeding one of them once a day and the other one twice a day. I changed them into a new jar as the previous one got a little too crusty. The one I fed twice a day showed a tiny bit of bubbles and rise. I was surprised and pleased, so the pattern continued. On day 11, they do have some tiny little actions after the reset, so it's encouraging. On day 12, it's about the same, both have some tiny bit of rise. On day 13 and 14, finally seeing a clear rise, although it's not much, but it shows that they are certainly not dead. On day 15, finally on day 15, I saw some nice rising action on the one I fed once a day. Looking into the jar, I definitely see some healthy bubbly action in there, even though it already started to fall. So I decided to keep just this one and continue. On day 16, it consistently rising and falling within 24 hours. Day 17, it rises more than double in less than 12 hours. I decided to now switch it to 2 feedings a day to keep it healthy and active. I really cannot believe it. It took me 16 days, but it actually works. However, keep in mind that it may not take 7 days like most people say. It took me 16 days, and who knows, maybe there's someone out there took even longer. I hope you won't run into situations like this, but if you do, you know that you are not alone. It just shows that every starter is different and some just take a little longer to get stable. The good news is that once it's stable, you won't have to keep a whole lot of them. You can just keep a little bit and feed it and it will still be very much active and healthy. Keeping a small amount is more practical for home baker and avoiding large amounts of discards. Be sure to check out my video on how to maintain your starter with very minimum effort and discard. Thanks so much for watching.